Bolo Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tera Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Brajajaranjana Yasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamunakte Ravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tera Vanachari Jamuna Tera Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Vishwapad Paramahamsa Parvich His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki Jai Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai Jai Vishwapad Paramahamsa Parvich His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīmad Prabhupada ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki Jai Granthra Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to the assembled devotees All glories to the assembled devotees Glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga All glories to Śrīla Prabhupada Verse 22, right? 23? 22. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 2, Text 22. Sha esha jivan kalu samparato. Sha esha jivan kalu sampareto. Varte tayo tyanta nisham shitena. Varte tayo tyanta nisham shitena. Dehe mrite tam manuja sapanti. Dehe mrite tam manuja sapanti. Ganta tamondham tanu manina dhruvam. Ganto tamondham tanu manina dhruvam. Shaesha jivan kalu sampareto. Varte tayo tyanta nisham shitena. Dehe mrite tam manuja shapanti. Ganta tamondham tanumanino dhruvam. Shaesha jivan kalu sampareto. Varte tayo tyanta nisham shitena. Dehe mrite tam manuja sapanti. Ganta tamondham tanumanina dhruvam. Shesha jivan Ksha, he, Eshaha, that jealous person. Jivan, while living. Kalu, even. Sampareta, is dead. Varteta, continues to live. Ya, anyone who. Atyanta, very much. Nishamsitena, by executing cruel activities. Dehe, when the body. Mrite, is finished. Tam, him. Manuja, all human beings. Sapanti, condemned. Ganta, he will go. Tamaha, andam, to hellish life. Tam manuina, of a person in the bodily concept of life. Dhruvam, without a doubt. Translation, Prabhupada by His Divine Grace, Prabhupada ki jai. A person who is very cruel is regarded as dead even while living. For while he is living or after his death, everyone condemns him. And after the death of a person in the bodily concept of life, he is undoubtedly transferred to the hell known as Andatama. Prabhupada. Kamsa considered that if he killed his sister while living, he would be condemned by everyone. And after the death, he would go to the darkest region of hellish life because of his cruelty. It is said that a cruel person, like a butcher, is advised not to live and not to die. While living, a cruel person creates a hellish condition for his next life, next birth. And therefore, he should not live, but he is also advised not to die, because after death, he must go to the darkest region of hell. Thus, in either circumstances, he is condemned. Kamsa, therefore, having good sense about the science of the soul's transmigration, deliberately refrained from killing Devaki. In this verse, the words Ganta Tama Andam Tanumanina Dhruvam are very important and require extensive understanding. Srila Jiva Goswami, in his Vaishnava Toshan Tika, says, Tantra Tanu Manina Papina iti dehatma buddhyayava papa dinevesho bhavati. One who lives in the bodily concept thinking, I am this body, involved himself by the very nature of these conceptions in a life of sinful activities. Anyone living in such a conception is to be considered a candidate for hell. Andanta gobhir vishatam tamishram punascharvita charvananam. One who is in a bodily concept of life has no control over sense gratification. Such a person can do anything sinful to eat, drink, be merry, and enjoy life of sense gratification, not knowing of the soul's transmigration from one body to another. Such a person does whatever he likes, whatever he imagines, and therefore, being subject to the laws of nature, he suffers miserably again and again in different material bodies. Javat kriyas tavad idam manovai karmatmakam jena sarira bandha. In the bodily concept of life, a person is karmanu bandha, or conditioned by karma. And as long as the mind is absorbed in karma, one must accept a material body. Sarira bandha, bondage to the material body, is a source of misery. Klesha deha. Nasadu manya yatadatmano yam asan api kleshadasu deha. Although the body is temporary, it always gives one trouble in many ways. But human civilization is now, unfortunately, based on tanu mani, the bodily concept of life, by which one thinks, I belong to this nation, I belong to this group, I belong to that group, and so on. Each of us has his own ideas, and we are becoming increasingly involved in individuality, socially, communally, and nationally. In the complexities of karma-anubandha, sinful activities. For the maintenance of the body, men are killing so many other bodies and becoming implicated in karma-anubandha. Therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami says that tanu mani, those in the bodily concept of life, are papi, sinful persons. For such sinful persons, the ultimate destination is the darkest region of hellish life. Ganta tama andham. In particular, a person who wants to maintain his body by killing animals is most sinful and cannot understand the values of spiritual life. In Bhagavad Gita 16, 19, 20, the Lord says, Tan aham dishata kuran samsareshu naradhaman Shipan ajasram ashubhan asureshu esha jonishu asurim jonim apanna mudha janmani mam aprapyaeva konteya tat yanti adhaman gatim. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life, attaining repeated birth among the species of demonic life. Such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. A human being is meant to understand the values of human life, which is a boon obtained after many, many births. Therefore, one must free oneself from tanu mani, the bodily conception of life, and realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Very important and very amazing purport. And actually, realistically, the characteristics of any human being that makes what we are. So here, Prabhupada very nicely explained in this purport that actually the very principle of a human being to understand I'm not this body. That is also our principle of devotional service. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains right in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that we're not this body. So if you want to go advance in spiritual life, you have to get over the bodily platform. First thing. So here, Prabhupada time and time very nicely explaining with so many verses from Bhagavad Gita, from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, to come to the level of a human being. What makes a human being is to understand, first of all, I am not this body. And we all very much think I'm this body. Everything's going around this principle, I'm not this body, I'm this body. So when he can really understand through devotional realization, through knowledge that I am a spirit soul, the spiritual entity who is beyond this material conception of life, then he can start to advance spiritual life. Even us, as devotees, we forget. We think like, oh, I have this body. And these things come from attachment to this body. Attachment is the very principle of that we have to give up. And when you attach to material body, attached to the position, attached to the material world around us and all the things that now belongs to us, we think we become attached to it, and then we become jealous of one another, like Prabhupada explains in the conclusion of the chapter, in the verse. Prabhupada says, jealousness, enviousness is the qualities that a devotee, he is really given up. He is selfless. A pure devotee of Krishna, he is selfless. He does service to Krishna. He's thinking, everything belongs to my Guru. Everything belongs to Krishna. And Prabhupada explains in the purport, sense enjoyment, sense gratification. Ultimately, it boils down to this principle of attachment. When you have the enjoyment attitude, the propensity to enjoy this body, then we forget Krishna, because the attachment to this body is what blocks us from serving Krishna. I mean, if you look at it, everything we do, if we have that attachment, that's what's blocking us. We can do anything for serving Krishna if we are above this material conception of life, above the attachment to this material body. The very principle of Krishna consciousness. And these verses, Srila Prabhupada very nicely quoting in this purport, are the very, very wonderful verses. Adanta Govir, that's one of the very important verses of the Bhagavatam. Punascharvita charvananam. Like enjoyment is like chewing the chewed. If you're in India, if you are from India, my favorite juice is sugarcane juice. I was just in Vrindavan in April last year, and they had Srila Prabhupada's opening of Krishna Balar Mandi, 50th anniversary. And I was making sure that I only eat at the temple, at the located place. And the day before I was leaving, I thought I'll have a little bit of sugarcane juice outside the temple. And it all looks good and clean. I had a cup of sugarcane juice, Ganneka Ras. And almost immediately, in the same day in the afternoon, I had stomachache. So when the guy was making the sugarcane, and usually you can see that in India, when they make sugarcane juice, they take every drop out of the sugarcane and then chuck it on the ground, right there. They didn't have a bean. And then, so what happens is a cow comes by, and they will eat that sugarcane was left in it. There's hardly any juice because they put it through the machine many times to get every drop out of it. So here, punascharvita charvananam, andaranta govir, punascharvita charvananam. Govi means cow. Go. So the cows, they'll eat that, chew that on it, try to get every drop of the juice, anything left in it. So the Prabhupada explains this same gratification in the same way we're trying to squeeze pleasure out of this material body. Every one of us, we try to get a little bit of juice, but actually we don't know the real juice is in chanting Hare Krishna, the real juice in the holy name. So here, the description of Kamsa. Kamsa wanted to kill his own sister. Who in the world do that? So, it's demoniac. So therefore, Prabhupada here explains here that we have to become a human being. A human being means its character. Like I said, what makes us a human being is our character, devotional character as a devotee. If we can't develop spiritual character and a devotional character, a devotee, then we have to, this is why we have this program, Krishna consciousness, to try to come to this platform of a human being. Give up our demoniac character to become a Vaishnava, a devotee of Krishna. It's not easy to be a Vaishnava. It's easy to say, but there are so many rules and regulations you have to follow. But actually the rules and regulations is easy if we have the intensity to follow it, the desire to follow it. It becomes easy. To hear Kamsa, he was enacting. But at the same time, we can see the qualities of a demoniac person. They're violent. It's mentioned here. Meat eating, intoxication, gambling. These are the qualities of a demon. They're violent. So, devotees means one who has control over his senses. Disciplinary controls, actions. Actions mean everything we do, we know this action will please Krishna, therefore I'm doing it. We don't act in a way that's going to hurt others. We don't act in a way that's going to disturb my progress in spiritual life. We act in a way that's going to please our spiritual master, that's going to please Krishna. That's devotional service. It's not that I can make up something and that's devotional service. We have to follow the guideline. So I'm having a big discussion on the with some devotees on social media. And everyone is coming up with some idea. But we have to follow what's there in the scriptures. Finish. Then everything becomes very smooth. Krishna consciousness is very simple. Chant Hare Krishna, associate with devotees, practice humility, chant Hare Krishna in association with devotees, go on Harinam, distribute books. And Krishna from within will help us to serve Him. But first of all, we have to give up that character, demoniac character, materialistic character, attachment to this body, attachment to sense enjoyment. Then the mercy will flow onto you. And sometimes we go on serving, but the mercy doesn't come, but we're thinking, why is it I'm not doing? There's some problem in it. So therefore, Krishna consciousness is a way to make Krishna consciousness smooth when you can see that there's a problem in it somewhere. But we always tend to point fingers at others. Problem comes from within our own self, our own heart. So here, the story of Kamsa. Kamsa is a very big demon. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that he comes to establish the Dharma. He comes to establish the religious principles. He comes to destroy the demoniac. Kamsa didn't have any discrimination. Even he wanted to kill his own sister. So Krishna says he comes to kill the demon. Kamsa is a big demon. Only Krishna can kill him. Similarly, we all have a demon in our heart. That's why Prabhupada says here, a demoniac character. Everyone we talk to, we may have a good character in us. At the same time, we also have a demoniac character. So you have to look into your own heart and see, why am I not chanting nicely? Why am I having this problem? Like I said, like we always tend to look into others, you. But actually we have to look into our own self, what the problem is. Everything is all about solving the problem. Whole world, everything is about solving to make life easy. Instead of washing your dhoti in the dhobiwala in the river, they have washing machine. Instead of sweeping the floor, they have a vacuum cleaner. Everything, they make life easy. But the problem still remains. Even though they have all the things we need to make life easy, but the problem's still there. Because that problem is there in us. Enviousness, jealousness. There's no machine to curb those things. There's no machine to take away your ignorance, to take away your jealousness, to take away your enviousness. I'm a better book distributor than you. I'm more. So there's that thing. I'm a better kirtan leader. I am a better singer than you. I'm a good cook. How many times do you have to tell everyone how good cook I am? I saw the Mataji a few days ago. She said to everyone 10 times, oh, I was the cook. I cooked it. Even me. Oh yeah, that's really good preparation. I did it. So there's that thing in us to make us think that I am the doer. I am the person doing it. There's very subtleness in it. Even though you think it's all Krishna's, but underneath you're thinking, no, look at that person glorifying me. I feel so good about it. So to always be in the mood of humility, that is Krishna is the doer. So when you become attached to something, there's nothing wrong in being attached to what you do. Everyone is attached, but that attachment has to be to Krishna. If you can chant so many rounds, quality rounds, and you attach to it, that's good. So that is to be expected, that kind of attachment. But when you think, oh, it's so good, I'm the doer, so there's that wrong in it. So you have to be able to sift that. Krishna consciousness is a filtering process. Everything is there to see, okay, what is wrong in that? How am I performing my service? Am I getting rid of this bad character inside me? When I grew up in ISKCON, grew up in Gurukul, and in those days, when I was a small kid, we all fight with each other, with other kids. So they put me in a room with those violent kids. Like, they want to fight, they have to fight with me. So they were all like equally. And then they made me a manager, so I had to control my anger. So because if they hurt the other boys, I have to make sure that they don't hurt them. So if I don't control myself, how am I going to protect them? So there was an analogy in that. So in order to be able to show example to other devotees, we have to clean our own character. We have to be exemplary. Kamsa is not being exemplary. But then he thought about it. He said, that's not good to kill my own sister, and she's pregnant. Even he is very intelligent. And you see today, a lot of people, they're crazy. They kill their own people, their parents, they shoot them and stuff. You hear about it all the time. How demoniac the society has become. How demoniac. We have to somehow always come to our senses. How do we come to senses? Through knowledge. Practice knowledge. Knowledge is the key. Spiritual teachings of Bhagavad Gita. That's why I emphasize distribution of books, because the knowledge, that's going to change people. Srila Prabhupada, when he wrote the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, before he actually wrote Bhagavatam, he wrote Krishna book. So sometimes we say, how can, we say John jumped to 10th canto, but here it is, Krishna book. It's part of 10th canto. But why did he give Krishna book right in the beginning? Because you're supposed to read Bhagavatam from beginning. Because Prabhupada was so merciful, he wanted people to have that nectar of Krishna's pastimes. So when you become attached to Krishna's pastimes and his Leela, we become this, then we lose that material enjoyment. It's like here, especially here in our Melbourne temple, there is so much of luxury life here, in fact, compared to other temples. Very luxury. If you go to other temples, there's not as luxury as here. In terms of prasadam, living, everything. So good here. People come here, oh, I want to stay here. They love it here. That's what we want. So when you join the temple, you become a devotee and we take care of you. But there's also a lot of hard work. We do a lot of hard work. You can tell any devotee here. See the brahmachari, you see all the temple devotees in Melbourne. And there is no time to sitting around. Everyone is busy. So even though we have the facility for material enjoyment, but we don't have time for it. Because we are so busy serving Krishna. That's the platform of devotional service, is that when we have the material things, we don't have time for it. And as we get older, we can't eat anymore. Isn't it? When we first joined, we're always lack of prasadam, they didn't have enough. But now, because body is getting older, we can't eat. So Krishna created this material body in such a way that if you get older, you can't eat much. You can't do much. So then we can meditate on Krishna. We can serve Krishna because the body is falling apart. That's Krishna's mercy. We're still going around, our body is young, we don't pay attention to Krishna. Of course, then there are exceptions. So therefore, this old age is there. So when the old age comes, we can, at least at that time of when the old age comes, we can sit down and think of Krishna and read books. Like in India, they have the 4 seasons, where there's one of the season is rainy season. Rainy season, what are you going to do in rainy season? It's all muddy, not like here, it's all muddy in village areas. So they said the Brahmanas, the Vaishnavas, they study during the rainy season. So we have to always find a time how we can utilize our time in serving Krishna. In this way, we have to keep ourselves busy in serving Krishna. Because also mentioned here in this purport, mind. It talks about mind. Our mind is always dwelling on many, many things. In one of the verse. Prabhu, devotees always ask me, oh Prabhu, how to deal with my mind? And Krishna speaks about that. Just sit down, chant Hare Krishna. If you're roaming around, sometimes people say, oh, let's go to the city and just look around and kill time. No, time is killing you. Kill time? Come to the temple. Utilize the time in serving Krishna. Use the mind in thinking of Krishna. So, very important aspect of Krishna consciousness. And the whole thing about bodily conception of life is when we are identifying with ourselves. And that started with the mind and the other senses. Mind is the sitting place of all the senses. It will tell you, ye karo, wo karo, don't do this, don't do that. It's a very difficult thing to control the mind. Every day you have a routine program. One day you said, I was going to have a rest today. Mind's telling you. Just do. Suddenly you find yourself like, I'm just going to take it easy. And it happens to me all the time. Mind's always overcoming like me. You have to overcome the mind. But how to overcome the mind is a very difficult thing, but actually it's easy if you can think of Krishna. That's why Krishna gives us the process. Manmana bhava madbhakta. Think of me, become my devotee, worship me. Like we come to the temple, even when you're sitting in front of the deity, even when you're engaged in Krishna consciousness, right inside the temple room, the mind will dwell on other objects. It's so tough to control the mind. But that's why Krishna says, you have to bring the mind back wherever it dwells and put it unto yourself. And I practice that. Like especially when you're doing cooking and doing services. I'm thinking to myself, no, I don't want to cook today. I don't want to do this service today. It's so difficult. Here we go again. I have to see this devotee. I have issue with him. I don't go to the temple. I just relax at home. I'll chant here. Mind's telling you. But when you come here, it's a test for us. We have to forcefully make ourselves to come here and be with the devotees. We have to give up things that the senses tell us. Go opposite way. Listen to Krishna. Listen to Prabhupada. Listen to the books. Listen to Guru, spiritual master. Listen to the philosophy. So you have to be able to tell what the mind is telling you. It's very easy. But because we dwell on the mind platform, the sensual platform, we get carried away by it. It's so strong. We used to swim in the Ganga. When I used to swim in the Ganga, I grew up in Mayapur. And I used to swim across the Ganga, go to the Navadvip. You may be a very good swimmer, an Olympic swimmer. You can swim across the Ganga, I'm sure. And one devotee from Australia said, I'm a good swimmer, I swim in the sea. He jumped in. 2 minutes later, help me. And then we had to call a boatman, a fisher boatman. He picked him up. We are already on the island. Small kids, we are like 10 years, 15 years old kids. We knew how to swim in the Ganga. So this is a system for how to swim there. It's not the physical strength. You have to know the technique. So the reason I'm saying this, technique in Krishna consciousness it's a technique, the spiritual technique. Is to be able to be humble towards Krishna. Oh, I can do it, no way. You have to practice with humility. And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Trinarapi sunichena tararopi sneshana. He has this big tree touching the sky. That's the tree is going to fall first. Because when the wind and the storm comes, the big tree is going to fall. But the grass, it will not, it's going to be still there. So anything, so we have to be humbler than the grass, taller than the tree. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. The grass, people step on the grass. Grass doesn't say, hey you, why are you stepping on me? The grass doesn't protest. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, a devotee has to be humbler than the grass, taller than the tree. You cut the tree, standing in the cold and rain, storm, they don't protest. So the standard of devotional service, standard of a devotee here, is that's what it takes. That's what it takes to serve Krishna. I when I first joined ISKCON in the 70s in Mayapur, and gradually, year after year, temples start to fill up with devotees, more and more devotees. And the older devotees that I knew, my friends, they slowly start to move away. Many of them are not here. So my mother told me, don't go away from ISKCON. Stay in Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada said the same thing. No matter what, you have to stay in Krishna consciousness. That's the real strength. The real strength is going to tell how loyal you are to Prabhupada. Are you going to be here forever? I tell myself, even everybody goes, I'm going to be here, I'm going to stay here. We have to tell ourselves that kind of attitude. I don't care what, I'll stay here till the last one. We have to tell ourselves that. Scriptures can say so many things. Verses after verses. But unless we can actually have the intensity, desire to serve Krishna. Just like if you go to a doctor, they give you the prescription. I went to the doctor the other day. I had some heart issue. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, you have to go to the hospital, because I can't tell you what's wrong with you, the heart. So I went to the hospital. I was waiting in line for 3 hours. And after 3 hours, they checked my heart. They put all this machine here, and at the end they said, "You're fine. Nothing wrong with you." And then I was worried, so my friend, the devotees, they told me sometime I get heartburn from overeating prasadam and stuff. So that's what happened to me probably. So yesterday night, it was late at night, the doctor called me. He said, "What did the doctor said in the hospital?" I said, "They did all the tests and they said, I'm okay." I said, "Oh, you still need to come and see me." I said, "Okay." So they gave me the paper back, all the prescriptions. So the reason I'm saying this, sometimes the doctors give you prescription and you go, "I don't need it." So the Guru, the spiritual master, Krishna and the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam tells us, but we don't listen to it. That's the way the problem is. The problem remains because we don't listen to the prescription that Krishna has given us. Of course, I'm just giving an example. The real prescription is no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. Sometimes devotees ask me, "Oh, Prabhu, what did Prabhupada tell you some deep instruction?" I say, "Yeah, he did. No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex." That's the deep instruction. We all have to follow. What else Prabhupada going to tell you? Open a temple or do something. But we all, if we want to really love Krishna, if we love Prabhupada, first of all we need to follow these principles. We don't talk about love of God, Krishna Prem, and so many characters. First we need to, step by step, follow the 4 principles. Chant our rounds nicely, with affection for Krishna, hearing the mantra, with love, with feelings. Just like if I call one of the devotees, say, Samavan, this is Brahmachari here, Hare Krishna, Samavan. He's going to, "Oh, are you calling me?" If I say, you didn't call me. So similarly, when you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna is listening. So you just go mumble something, he's not going to listen. Simple as that. I try to understand things in a very practical way. Isn't it? So when you chant Hare Krishna, am I chanting nicely? Am I chanting the mantra correctly? "Oh yeah, I finished my rounds." I asked one of the small kids that come around, our devotee kids. Say, "Oh yeah, I chant 16 rounds." Just in half an hour. It takes 2 hours to chant 16 rounds nicely. And if you chant even more nicely, it might take 3 hours, clearly, if you have more time. So how can you do 16 rounds in half an hour? You probably just Hare Krishna, finish 1 round. So you have to really be able to listen to the mantra and chant clearly. Pass the beads on your finger nicely. There's so many things. We had one devotee come from India to give a class on how to chant japa. We don't need to import devotees from India to give class on chanting japa. You can read about it. They have a japa reform notebook written by Satsuru Maharaj. We should all know. What if there's no airplane and he can't come from India to tell us how to chant japa nicely? So we're not going to chant japa nicely? There is books and there is instructions. You understand what I'm saying? So the thing is, it's not always we depend on people, we import people to tell us, okay, how to chant your rounds nicely. We can read the japa reform notebook. We can listen to Prabhupada chanting japa. So instructions are all there, and the Bhagavatam is there, if we are sincere to listen to it. Just like the doctor. The Guru is a doctor, Krishna is a doctor. He tells us, he gives us the guideline. But we don't want to listen. Every book distributor will tell you in the street, "Oh, it's so difficult to sell a book to Indian." They say, no, I already have. Thank you very much. When did you read it? I forget. They keep it in the shelf. Maybe, so our devotees say, no, you have a book, then you buy one more for your for your family. They said they are easy to sell books to the foreigners, Westerners. So we think we already have it. We think we already know everything. We are so good at it. We have to give up this mentality. The 6 Goswamis, they always say, Hey Radha, hey Brajadevike Chalalite. They said, where is Radha Krishna? Are you under this tree? Are you at the bank of the Yamuna? That's their attitude of searching for Krishna. They're the greatest devotees. They're with Krishna. So our attitude should be in the mood of separation. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? I don't have Krishna. Srila Prabhupada went to America. He left Vrindavan so far away. You think Prabhupada is not in Vrindavan because he was in New York? Prabhupada said, I have brought Vrindavan here with me. So we have to be similarly, we may be not, wherever we are, we have to feel that way, that the instruction of Krishna is with me. Then we can develop that love for Krishna, wherever we are. It's not that we are in the temple, Hare Krishna, and I'm so pure here. The test is when we are not in the temple. Because we are only here for a few hours. A whole day we're going to be out. Am I not going to be Krishna conscious because now I'm not in the temple? The temple is a place where we go to boost our Krishna consciousness, our sadhana. But we have to carry that sadhana with us. So this is what the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is so wonderful, because the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam points out how to perform service to Krishna. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Amalam Puranam. This Amalam Puranam, because Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is perfect. It roots out all the impurities that us in us through Bhagavatam, instruction of the Bhagavatam. I'm reading the Mahabharata, halfway now. I love it, because I heard so many stories, but I really wanted to read it. And this, I'm now, they're in the forest, and Krishna came to the forest to meet the Pandavas. Kamyak Van, Samyavan, Kamyak Van, forest. And so Draupadi was really angry with Krishna. So Draupadi said to Krishna, why didn't you come? I was why didn't you be there when the Pandavas, we were on trouble? And Krishna says, I'm sorry, I had to. Krishna was telling sorry to Draupadi. He said, I was very busy because Dwarka was under attack by Salva, one big demon. And he was throwing astras after astra. And Krishna was very busy at defending Salva. He said, I'm sorry, I was very busy there. I had to kill him. I had to rebuild, because he destroyed part of Dwarka. So he was very busy. And so how wonderful this is. God himself was there with Draupadi and consoling her and back and forth. And this is the Leela of Krishna. So Krishna knows that my devotees are always dear to me. And even here, Kamsa, even though Kamsa, this is a Leela between Krishna and his devotees, these pastimes. If Kamsa wasn't there, then Krishna wouldn't appear. So this is all connected. And at the same time, we can read about Krishna's pastimes. Krishna killed Kamsa and other demons. This way, we are enhancing Krishna's glory. We are enhancing Krishna killing the demons. So we are enhancing the glories of Krishna by reading the pastimes of Krishna, by killing Krishna, killing the demons. So this is increasing the Krishna's Leela, glories of Krishna. This is not that, Krishna need to come every time and kill the demon. This is a special time. Krishna came 5,000 years ago. This special time. And right now is also a special time, because now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. And we are part of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. We are enacting also. We are all demons in our own way. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, we can uplift ourselves from demoniac character to Vaishnava character. He may say, I am born in India, I am very pure. I was born in the Holy Dham. But I'm not pure. I only got the mercy of Prabhupada and the mercy of the Vaishnavas who came from the foreign country. So we may be born in India, we may be born in the Holy Dham, but our behavior doesn't show that. We're still flocking to Melbourne and Western country to chase after money and enjoyment. When you're supposed to go to overseas to preach about Krishna, isn't it? Srila Prabhupada did that. Srila Prabhupada, he was also born in India, but then he is the one who showed us what is the purpose of our born in India. We have to preach Krishna consciousness. Just so many things. So the Leela of Kamsa being killed by Krishna, and Krishna performed these pastimes. These pastimes are all so glorious because this is what pleases the devotee by hearing. What do you think? Like somebody killed someone, he hears all the time. But Krishna killed Kamsa. It's very special. 5,000 years ago, you read book about Krishna book. And then there's World War II, World War III, and so many histories, world killing so much. But what Krishna killed Kamsa was the big deal. But because it's Krishna involved, Krishna. So everything is surrounded, everything is about Krishna. Life of a devotee is based on Krishna consciousness. So anyway, so whole this purport Srila Prabhupada has given is to define our character, refine our character, and give up the demoniac nature in us, the nature of demonic nature, and become sadhu and Vaishnava. Give up the envious nature, give up the jealous nature. That is always there in us. The reason why we are in the mature world, because we are envious of Krishna. There is a subtleness in that. We are envious of Krishna. Why Krishna is an enjoyer? I also want to enjoy. Prabhupada said, we are also enjoyer, but we are a small enjoyer, minute enjoyer. Krishna can eat Govardhan Hill food. We can eat one this much. So we are a small enjoyer. If we all can eat so much food, then what is the meaning of we are all Krishna? So there's one person who is the supreme, and Jiva, we are all his servants. Ekale, Ishar, Krishna, Arsa, Vritya. Everyone is his servant. Krishna is the Ekale, Ishar. He is the supreme himself. Everyone else is servant. So if you can actually understand that through knowledge, through hearing, then we will understand things more nicely. Any questions? Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, he's also, okay, whoever.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for sharing your enthusiasm and realization with us. I appreciate that. Prabhu, I had a question about the, you said that we shouldn't be looking for our own glory, trying to receive compliments and hear our own glories, and in that way feel like we're important. So, at the same time, and it reminds me of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who said, whoever flatters me, he's my enemy. So at the same time, we know that most of us, we're at a stage where we need a lot of encouragement. So what is the way to be encouraging to the devotees without going overboard or flattering or doing some damage in that way?
I remember when I was in the Vrindavan Gurukul in the 80s, my teacher would never glorify me. So he used to tell other people about me. And I heard him say it. He said, hey, he's good, but don't tell him directly in his face because he'll get proud. So he'll tell others about me nicely, but not tell me directly because he reckons that I'll get proud. So that depends. That depends. Like if I say to you, oh, you're so good, you're going to think, oh, I'm so fallen and this, that. So it depends on your mentality. So if you think by glorifying you nicely, that's going to enhance your Krishna consciousness, that's okay. But it's going to make you proud, then the person who's glorifying you, they have to understand that. That's going to only hurting you. So it's the preaching, managerial things are very intricate. So, like I remember Jayapataka Maharaj, one time I did a very mischievous thing and he didn't hit me. I thought he was going to like whack me with a stick, but he didn't. So he said, he just preached to me. So I was thinking, wow, very nice. You know what I mean? Like, he shouldn't do this, he glorified. He quoted verses from the Bhagavatam and he says, this is not correct. And I understood that. So when we're preaching, you have to be able to understand the concept behind how they're going to accept it. So if that's going to make me proud, better not. So if I want to hit you, I'll do it again, maybe. So if I preach to you, oh yeah, he preached to me so nicely, he understands me. So he will not do it. So depending how we're going to accept it. So you have to know how to deliberate the knowledge accordingly. Okay?
And that, I had another question, but that point brought up something for me. I find myself, like I recognize how when I glorify devotees, it can be, I can see that it can cause that pride, but also on another end, I can see that it's very pleasing to the devotees when they're glorified, and so it's, yeah, I find it difficult to strike a balance between wanting to really please the devotees and knowing that it can hurt one's bhakti. It's a very nice point. I had a question about purification of the heart. So how is softening of the heart and the melting of the heart, how does that go hand in hand with purification? Are they directly in line, or are they kind of on a different track? Does the melting of the heart come along with the purification of the heart, or does it depend on the individual?
I think first of all, you have to have a heart to be able to melt it. If you don't have a heart, how are you going to melt it? So we have to know that what's the condition of the heart. Like I was talking about this issue, the condition of the heart. We all know what kind of person we are, what kind of feelings we have. I was a yoga teacher, so there's different chakras in our body. They're called seven chakras, and there's a heart chakra. So how do you check the heart? It depending, they don't have a doctor to tell the condition of the heart. They put the machine, and they can only tell when the heart is not actually working. If it is working, they can't tell. That's what they told me. So melting of the heart is, when you talk about melting of the heart, it's not like it's like in the cool room, in the machine, the ice getting melt. It's not like that. It's just a concept that melting of the heart through love, devotion to it. Spiritually, we're talking about. It's not like you take the heart out and put it in the fridge and it melts it. It's not like that. So the heart melts through our devotion, through our feelings, because feelings is connected to heart chakra. How we love someone or love Krishna, or spiritually through understanding, that comes from how the heart is. If we have that kind of a heart, so if you're hard-hearted, we say you're hard-hearted. he's very cruel, he's demoniac. So they don't have that kind of a soft heart. So heart melting is through knowledge. We understand, we love Krishna so much. This ecstasy is chanting Hare Krishna, ecstasies of devotional service. So that's melting of the heart. It's not like you open their chest and you say, oh, heart is melting. I can see it. It doesn't mean that. It means you know it, how soft you are in terms of your behavior, in terms of your work, in terms of how you talk to people, how you are dealing with others. It shows through your deliverance and your dealings with others. It shows the condition of your heart. It's not like I can show it to you, oh, it's like a rock, or it's like soft. But we all know how soft it is through our practice of Krishna consciousness. If we can have the love, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, when you chant Hare Krishna, tears will flow from your eyes, hair standing on end. That's not just physically, means it's connected to your heart also. Because your heart is so soft. And you're chanting Hare Krishna. First place we feel is your heart. That feeling comes here first. Then throughout the body. Because if the heart is not in a good position, we're going to die. So it's all connected throughout the body, is connected from the heart. So if the heart is in good condition, we're feeling the love for Krishna, hair will stand on end. Eyes, tears will come from the eyes because your heart is so soft. And I don't have that kind of feeling. I can't really explain it, but then practically you can know that it's not a physical thing. It's a very spiritual emotion that heart will go into in that mode. Spiritual emotion. Materially, it's like melting. There's no such thing. People don't talk. Oh, my heart is melting. Only devotees talk. Because we know the heart melts through devotion only. Material things only hardens it. Understand? So only spiritually we can talk these things, that my heart is melting through devotion, through knowledge, through love for Krishna. Materially they don't have that concept. It only hardens it. And I don't know how to explain it, so that's how I would say it. Okay? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.